How much ethnographic research do you do, if any?
We're doing more and more, and again, we're doing more of the virtual ethnography work, if you will. So really getting into the home through mobile PC and mobile devices, and getting people to become sort of our our advocates, if you will, for our clients' brands, and to give us insight. So we have a number of people. We create panels where we give people all these sort of social network tools that they can interact with us and provide insights and information and video and pictures, and that's become very popular with our clients. Even on a longitudinal basis now, we actually have a number of communities set up for some of our studio and TV clients that are able to tap into this, and that speaks to what I said earlier, that people want, they want to be able to connect with their consumers on a daily basis. So this allows clients to go in and say, hey, I want to put this, this one sheet up in front of people and just get their response and get them to chat amongst each other, and maybe even, go out and find some other images that they think might be better, so that we're getting a lot more sort of consumer-generated insights into the process than we have ever before. And again, being able to use technology to do that, not having to get in a car or a plane to fly and get into somebody's home. People are a lot more comfortable, surprisingly, in doing it this way in some respects than they are in letting some stranger into their home to look around. So we've been very aggressive in that area.
It seems that this type of research is absolutely fascinating. Do you think it cuts out a certain segment of the targetable population, and that might be those who are not technologically savvy and, dare I say, older consumers who may not feel all that comfortable? Do you find that to be a challenge, and if so, how do you overcome that?
It is a challenge. It most definitely is a challenge. But it's funny, more and more we don't see sort of the older consumer, if you will, as being all that shy about technology these days. I think 5-6 years ago, absolutely, but we get some of our best, richest information from 45-year-old males and 54-year-old women, and they're getting much more comfortable using internet technology and social network types of interfaces to provide information. So I mean, you look at, I think, the rise of Facebook and just how that's gone from being well, social network in general, a very teen-based activity about 2 years ago, to being a mainstream activity now. It's really expanded well beyond and well into the older age ranges. Parents and grandparents have realized, hey, this is a neat way to keep in touch with what's going on in my family and friends around the world or in my neighborhood, whatever.
They're saying that the next generation of televisions, you'll just be able to plug directly from the internet into your big screen. How do you think this might impact media consumption? I mean, and I think specifically, what are the challenges to broadcasting cable networks when consumers can get it directly from the internet?
I mean, I'm always been a firm believer content is king. So it's still about the content. Consumers are going to want good content. Somebody has to pay for that. So the business models, regardless of how they change, are going to have to support that type of model. So does that mean people pay in a different way? I don't know, but what does that mean for advertising? I think the broadcast networks still survive. I think the cable networks survive. I think it's really more a question of how the business models evolve to support this. But I think, again, it's about good content, and people they're gonna want the content. I think the idea of sort of TV everywhere is important, because they're fine paying for content. They sort of want to pay for it once and then be able to see it on any screen they want. So I think that is important, and that should get figured out, because I think consumers don't like the fact that I got to pay for the same content on my phone as I'm paying from my satellite operator or whatever. I'm paying for the same thing twice. That's not fair, and you can understand the rationale behind it. So I think it's really as much about the business model supporting this sort of notion of TV everywhere, and how that ultimately evolves from both a pay and ad-supported standpoint.
So in terms of transitions and business models, where do you see print going? They've really been struggling recently. Do you see, through your research and through your experience, a different future for print that has a viable business model?
Well, I think, I've been telling my print friends, it's like, hopefully the iPad can say print the way the iPod saved music, and I think there's probably a lot to that, and not just the iPad, but obviously the Kindle and Sony e-reader and the other technologies that are out there, as well as the internet. I mean, people still want good content to read, and they still want nice pictures and they want nice video. Again, the print companies, they're rich content companies. They have great content, both from the written word and the photo or whatever. So I think it's just an evolution of moving to an electronic model of delivery as opposed to the printed page. I think obviously the printed page is going to continue to survive, but I think you're going to see more and more a lot of the business evolving to personal devices and PCs and laptops where people can access their magazine content or their newspaper content. And I just bought an iPad. I bought the 3G this weekend, so and have been pretty addicted to it. I had to not bring it to work today so that I'd actually get something done. But it's pretty amazing to see what it can deliver in the screen size. And I'm actually excited to get sort of my New York Times on my iPad and potentially Entertainment Weekly and some other things. So again, I think it's really about the interface and having that technology that allows us to get the content we want and willing to pay for it if it's good. So I really think that there's a tremendous opportunity for the publishers out there to continue to put out good content and make money just in sort of a new way, in a new electronic format.